Welcome
to Film Shapes,
the podcast.
Good morning, people. This is Film Shapes, the podcast. We're talking about Deadpool 2 today. Roly's back. Hi, Roly.
Hello.
And a special guest today, Parizad. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. A little bit of a cough. Don't worry about it.
Diddums.
Hey, so this is the sequel to Deadpool, which was a huge hit, even though it was an R rating. It was probably the biggest R-rated hit.
Was
so
it
far.
R-rated or MA? I thought it was MA, and what is the difference these days?
Possibly R-rated in the US, MA here.
Oh, is that right? We don't have R here?
Yeah, I think you're...
We do, but the standards are different, I believe.
Oh.
Shady tends to get stuck on the US version of things because he loves that.
Let's start this all over again. I guess it's similar, but R in the US, you surely they don't like the C word so much as we understand.
Do we have the C word in this film?
Twice, I think.
Ooh.
Can't remember when, but each time I thought, good, I like this. Yeah, pretty rare. And of course, the F word. I mean, why are we saying F word and C word? Can I just say fuck? Probably.
You can say whatever you like.
I'm not going to say the other one. Just it's maybe I will sometime. Anyway, this is do we need to summarise this? I think people know what we're talking about, don't we?
One thing we can say is that don't take any notice of the synopsis on IMDb film database because it's written by 20th Century Fox and it's bullshit.
It's spoof-tastic, is it?
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I hadn't read that until this morning, until you told us about that.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Yeah. So this is Wade Wilson as Deadpool again, Ryan Reynolds repeating his role. He's just, in this time, he's a mercenary. He's actually got the job as a mercenary, I think, going around killing people, sorting things out all around the world. What did you guys think? I thought it was better than the first one.
Yeah, had to rate in sequel territory. I enjoyed it probably slightly more. What did you think, Paris?
As a sequel, it was up there. It was a very good sequel. I don't know if I enjoyed it more than the first one, just because a lot of the types of jokes that we were seeing were very similar.
So the second time round, it wasn't as funny for you?
Oh, it was still just as funny, but I think the first time it was funny, plus it had the added factor of being an unexpected type of joke.
Right.
Whereas this time around, I knew what to expect.
Yeah, I've heard that from other review shows that was, it's not as fresh because it's kind of retreading. But you're going to get that, aren't you?
Yeah,
Sequels,
I mean, with
really.
the sequel, that's what you have to expect.
I think this did push the whole joke thing a lot further as well, particularly with a lot of digs at other franchises, like the DC franchise and things like that. There were a lot of jokes, and I got to say, looking at the DC line of movies at the moment, it doesn't really compare, does it, to what Marvel are doing in this sphere.
There's one or two standouts.
It's kind of sad. We watched that. We also watched that the new DC movie, Justice League.
Oh, okay.
And it was all right, but it was the same movie that you've seen again and again. Whereas I think these films are really pushing things now. Yeah. As to how far they can keep doing that, I'm not sure.
Yeah. He's doing the old breaking the fourth wall again. Like, that's just lazy writing. He looks at the screen a lot. Looks at the camera. That's quite good. I mean, is it the cartoon in the comics? He does that. Has anyone read the comics?
I haven't.
But okay. I know of them, yeah. Which
seems strange. Like, he'll look out of the page, and talk to the reader, which is kind of what he's doing in this one, yeah. I like this more because a few reasons. I didn't like the bartender character so much in the first one. T.J. Miller's character. He's got some good lines, but he just kept rolling them out. Like, he'd repeat one after the other. And in this film, he did about two in a row, and I thought that's good. Like, quality, not quantity, you know.
The humour was kind of spread over a number of characters in this one, I thought, a lot more.
Yep.
Which was nice.
Yeah, true, yeah.
And there were a lot of comedic moments that I wasn't expecting from certain characters, like the cabbie turning out to be a closet psychopath was hilarious.
Oh, yeah, he's the most disturbing character in the
fantastic.
film, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I want some more. Yes.
Especially when, he starts with, I need something to fulfill my life and I want something to fill my soul. And, Deadpool's like, that's really sweet. He's like, yeah, I just want to kill people.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, he's listening to Tony Robbins cassettes and
yeah, that's good. I don't know if did the directing change much or something. Something seems a bit more assured. The first one for me was a little bit slapped together. Perhaps it's just budget. I'm not sure. They seemed like they knew what they were doing more with this film.
Well, they certainly had more budget because they fitted a few actual X-Men in the house this time. For one sneaky scene.
I hear that's a... Are we allowed to spoil? We're going to go and spoil, aren't we?
Let's go for it.
Yeah, okay.
A given.
Cameos in those guys. I think they did that as a favour. Apparently they were shooting Dark Phoenix in the same city or something like that, or nearby, and they just did a green screen thing for a couple of hours, got them set up for that.
That shot took a couple of hours? I suppose it would have. If they're already in character.
Yeah, hopefully they were already made up and all that. The blue guy and
Did you pick these other cameos, which I've only just found out from researching the film, that we've got Brad Pitt and Matt Damon in there?
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't notice.
I didn't pick that up.
Okay.
I noticed the Pitt is the Vanisher.
Yes.
And when he gets
invisible guy.
Zapped.
Oh,
and I think he gets shown when he gets electrocuted.
Yes, on the wires. Right? In the best scene of the whole film, basically.
I was going to ask about any favourite scenes from the film. I've got to say that
definitely
brilliant.
Up there.
Yeah.
But I like just before when he's in the plane as well and he's kind of giving his bit of a speech and he kind of feels he's got to step up to being the captain, And then the skydiving thing. I thought it was...
the whole thing is fantastic. And I was listening to an Empire podcast. We referenced them quite a bit on this podcast ourselves. They interviewed Ryan Reynolds, and he said that sequence was actually a bridge between... They needed something. They'd written most of the script, and they realised they needed something between Cable beating the shit out of Deadpool and then them going after this convoy. So as a juncture, those two didn't work. He's just been beaten up, and then he's straight away running after them. So he needed something.
So this is why they created X-Force.
Yeah, apparently this is something they needed to... Let's get a group together so we can go after them. They needed something to pad that out, to bridge those two scenes. And that's the best scene in the film, and that was an afterthought.
Is it true that this X-Force thing is going to be... There's more
apparently
life in that?
That's the next film, apparently. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's fine. But that means that Shatterstar and Bedlam and the Vanisher are gone?
Well, I can't remember the post-credit scenes very clearly, but I do remember him going back and changing things.
Yeah.
I just can't remember how many of them he saved.
He only saved Peter. Yeah.
I think you might be right.
Yeah, that's the beauty of that. He didn't give a shit about those other ones. He just wanted to save that.
Well, you don't want that other guy, that alien guy that got chopped up by the helicopter.
No, he was a dick.
There was one more who was spitting acid. What was that guy's name? Zeitgeist. Zeitgeist. Was that because you've got your finger on the pulse of society? No, I just spit acid. Okay.
So is being lucky a superpower?
Apparently. That was a good setup. Like, no, it's not a superpower. Come on, get off. And then finally we get to see her being lucky when that car chase starts. That's great, yeah. That worked nicely. Yeah.
Parizad, did you have any different favourite scenes to this one? Or?
I got to admit that one was my favourite scene. Out of all of them, I just thought it was I don't know, just the funniest. And it brought together a lot of different elements as well. Like, it wasn't just focused on Deadpool. It was funny because of everyone else involved.
Yeah, and it takes the piss out of the superhero movies in general. And
to set up, okay, we're going to get a gang, we're going to get a group together. To set that up, it took longer than it took to kill them off, I reckon. And then they're all just dead, except for Domino, yeah. Which makes sense because she's the lucky one, So,
what about Baby Legs scene? What did you think of that?
I'd forgotten about that. That was great.
That's pretty funny. That's disgusting.
That was definitely when he starts walking. particularly.
Yeah.
I think
there's this like grown torso and these tiny little legs.
And a little Basic Instinct leg cross kind of thing where his little tube is popping out there. Yeah.
Did you notice any of the religious undertones, overtones in this one?
Oh, what?
There's so much religion going on.
What? No, I didn't. Go on. Hit me with it.
Okay. There's this overarching theme of redemption, which he is, in a process of redeeming. There's there's crosses everywhere. There's a cross in the bar, I think.
Okay.
There's what else have I got here? Is that all I've got? No.
Let's see if that's it.
The pedophile headmaster has these religious kind of these religious kind of ideas going on within a lot of his language as well.
Sure.
And I think the whole thing and the whole idea of immortality and things, I think, is kind of is some fertile ground for some of these.
I've never heard that about this film, and that would be a strange thing to pop in a Deadpool film.
Is this heaven?
Yeah, that was what I was going to say, is that I didn't pick up on the religious themes, but I was surprised at the ideas of the afterlife being presented, of that whole,
There's a water wall or something that he's trying to get through?
I forget the name of Morena Baccarin's character.
Vanessa, is that?
Vanessa, that's it.
Yeah.
But the idea of him communicating with her after she's died and, wanting to join her.
Yeah.
I was surprised that was in there.
Yeah, so I think there is that angle on, and I think there's much more than what I'm able to remember at the moment. But
wow,
if you look at it again,
he's Christ. It's a Christ allegory.
That's the other one. He refers to himself as that.
Does he?
And he does die and get reborn.
I think it might be in the plane. It's like, who are you, Jesus, or something?
I think he's a god, or he's
he makes a comment saying,
"Well, it's interesting. I'm going to dismiss it, but it's interesting."
It's there, believe me.
Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's I suppose linked to that. There's no real antagonist in this film. When you think about it.
So Cable, he turns out to be a good guy.
Yeah.
He's just doing what he needs to do. And
for me, the only real antagonist was the headmaster, the school headmaster.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he's just the black and white evil kind of
Exactly, and he's barely in it as well.
Yeah, that's right. He's not the big bad guys that you would get in a film like this. Maybe it's Deadpool himself, or the circumstances. Like he's fighting against making a mistake with this kid, with the kid from the Wilder people, yeah?
Yeah, yep.
So maybe that's the antagonist, himself?
I think there's, well, people have a change of their roles as well. So for a while, the kid is the evil.
Yep.
But then he comes good at the end.
Yeah.
Same with Cable.
Yeah. True. Juggernaut, maybe not.
Juggernaut, he's just...
Yeah.
He's not really an antagonist, though. He's just a threat.
He's muscle, isn't he? Yeah. Hang on, come back to Damon. Now, this one I didn't see.
I didn't see him either, but in research, he's one of the... when Cable comes to Earth from the... when he comes from the future, he's one of the redneck guys.
Oh.
Yes,
very briefly.
On the truck. And Alan Tudyk is there, but he's you can tell he's Alan Tudyk. He's the guy from Firefly and Serenity, the film.
Oh, right, okay.
And Rogue One. I think he was the robot in Rogue One as well, with all the wisecracks. He's pretty good. That Damon must have had a lot of makeup on, though. I didn't notice. He's talking about wiping his ass, right? Is that scene?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
The toilet paper scene.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And, of course, James McAvoy and Ty Sheridan, Sophie Turner, those ones from the new X-Men films.
Now, are we in a different universe with X-Men completely to the Avengers? Can somebody explain this to me?
That's unexplainable, I think.
That's Hollywood politics. That's all it is.
Yeah, well, it's interesting to see that politics play out in films in a way that Deadpool then does that in a way not many other films can or have so far.
Deadpool has the leeway to call it out on screen, which is nice. It's refreshing.
Yeah. I mean, he's talking about the DC Universe films. He talks about that Martha scene, that stupid Martha scene, right?
Well, he goes as far as to say, I'm Batman.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And if you notice, the actual Xavier, when the doors are closing, is McAvoy Xavier. But when he's got that Cerebro thing on his head, he says, "This smells like Patrick Stewart, this thing."
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think in the first film, he's talking about Xavier like, which one? Is it Stewart or McAvoy? So he's just pulling the piss.
But what about the Avengers? Where did the Avengers come in?
He did mention something. He mentioned.
He turns to Cable and says, "Zip it, Thanos," which I find hilarious.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah.
Because the actor is Thanos.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I heard one rumor possibility as well that Vanessa is actually this character Death.
Yeah. Ooh.
Who's a Marvel, and that is. That's the character that Thanos had a crush on.
Exactly.
For a while, so there could be something brewing there.
No.
No. Well, okay. Please explain.
That's
just too off the wall for you.
Too off the wall, yeah. It's like the religion thing that you brought up before.
Although it would explain the amount of autonomy she has while she's dead. And the amount of foresight she has into what's happening in the living world.
But Death in the comics is an evil bastard, isn't she? She? I
haven't read the comics. So I'm not sure.
I haven't read the comics.
I think there's there's something to uncover there, maybe. But yeah, it's open for debate, obviously.
Yes, yeah. I'm not sure about that one.
I have to admit, I actually have been enjoying how disconnected Deadpool is from the rest of the Marvel verse.
Yeah. We don't need him to join.
Well, aside from the X-Men.
Aside from the X-Men, yeah. To be honest, I haven't really been following the X-Men movies. They just don't interest me as much. But with the Marvel films, like the cinematic connected universe, I've enjoyed them. I've really enjoyed those films. But it's refreshing to see a movie that's set in that universe but doesn't follow on from all of the storylines and doesn't connect to all of the other characters. It's nice to be able to go in without having to watch all of the previous movies.
Yeah, it's a good standalone. I think a couple of books that I've read, comics, I should say. That's books. They're not fucking books, are they? They're kids' comics.
Comic books are types of books.
Yeah, sure. It's a Deadpool and Wolverine, and I think, there's another dude, and there's Psylocke, who was in one of the X-Men. They all form some sort of band in the comics. I don't know what. Maybe they are X-Force.
What, like a musical band?
No, a gang, a group.
That'd be fun.
So Deadpool, the boy band.
He mentions Wolverine a bit, doesn't he?
Yeah, he seems to have a bit of a chip on his shoulder about Wolverine.
Well, Ryan Reynolds and Jackman are mates, so they take the piss out of each other a bit, social media-wise. And
okay.
So I think that's it. I think Jackman's allowing all that to happen. That beginning scene where he's got the stick through him and he's got that musical. Yeah. Apparently he talked to James Mangold, the director of that, to see if he could use that. And the music that he dies to is the same as what... Logan, can I spoil another film while we're doing this?
Why not? Spoiling.
The music that Logan dies to is the same music that Deadpool dies to at the end in that long death scene, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That long
it was so long.
interruptus.
Yes. Yeah. So they are connected, but sort of not... Like Parizad saying, they're not in the same universe. And I don't think you'd...
Oh, well, they are in the same universe. They just don't necessarily connect.
He's like a rogue sort of offshoot, I suppose, isn't he?
It's like he's purposely stayed away from the Avengers, basically.
But was Colossus in any of the X-Men films? Maybe one. He might have been in one briefly.
I think he must have popped up somewhere, but I'd never seen him.
Yeah. So, it's good that it's separated, I think, yeah.
Colossus, they got a lot more friendly this episode, didn't they?
Yeah, a bit of arse handling and stuff.
It was fun.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions before we go. Two of which we've already talked about. Fridging. You heard of this fridging thing?
No.
I was hoping someone had. So okay,
hit me with it.
Let me try and explain it. It's the process of killing off a female character in a film to give the male character motivation.
Oh, yeah. I'm familiar with the concept, just not the term.
This is a trope.
It's a trope.
Yeah, okay.
And it happened to Cable and to Deadpool.
It's happened,
in this film.
Good point.
And almost exclusively the female character killed off is the love interest.
Yeah, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I'm just thinking now, is it ever mothers? Probably not. It's usually
occasionally,
yeah.
But it's usually the love interest.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And it rarely works reverse, does it?
No, a male love interest dying to give a female character
Bizarro World.
is Bizarro World because generally female characters are not the primary protagonists.
Yeah, that's true. So, I mean, is that a problem in this? It's been brought up. But...
I wasn't comfortable with it,
Yeah.
with how quickly and the way in which Vanessa died. I thought it was really unnecessary.
Yeah.
Particularly because the whole... the main plot is that he tries to save this kid from becoming evil, all of which could have been achieved without Vanessa dying.
Yeah, that's right.
He meets the kid because he goes on a trip with the X-Men, which admittedly he wouldn't have done if she hadn't died. But I'm sure there are other ways you can get him into that situation.
I suppose they were thinking they wanted him to become suicidal in this. Like, he blows himself to pieces, and that's how he gets taken by Colossus back to the X-Men mansion, etc.
Yeah.
But,
there's a sense, I think, of just the film still being, it's fighting against convention, but it's still using convention.
It still
in
uses
a conventional
so many
way.
of them.
Right. And I suppose the argument is, well, that makes the audience feel comfortable in itself as well,
because they can understand what's happening.
Really familiar tropes that they don't even have to think about, but you just go along with it.
Yeah.
And then you get more surprised when he pops through the fourth wall.
The fact that it's a trope, the fact that it's making people feel comfortable, this cliche, sort of...
makes you feel dirty.
It makes me uncomfortable.
But it makes you feel dirty, but that's
the film language.
It's part of the language, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it would be more interesting if they messed with some of those ideas as well, and he mentioned something about that in the film because like a lot of people, that just went over my head. But now that it's pointed out, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's a detriment to an otherwise pretty funny film, I guess. Yeah.
I think the main problem with those is that the comfort factor of the tropes loses its power the more aware the audience is.
Yeah.
So for me, when Vanessa died, I was very uncomfortable with it. And that's because I was aware of it and looking for those kind of things. And so I saw it and I'm like, oh, I can't believe they've just done that.
Yeah.
Whereas for someone who's not really thinking about it, you wouldn't think about it. You just accept it and move on because you're so familiar with it.
Yeah, is that children or is it just...
Oh, I think it's just audiences in general.
Right.
I think audiences are changing. I think they are becoming more politically aware of the dynamics within films, like the social dynamics within films.
Yeah.
Did you have any similar reaction to Yukio? Hi, Yukio. Bye, Yukio. You know that?
Yeah.
Which I laughed at. I liked it, but it also made me think. For some reason, I'm a little uncomfortable
because she's a Japanese girl.
Because it's just a very cliched, but it's playing on the cliche.
How cute! Oh, she's
she's
an
cute
anime
and adorable,
character.
And
And I guess because the girlfriend is so grumpy teenager.
But they set up the fact that he's a gay relationship in a film, and then he sort of circumvented that by saying, "Oh, she's so cute," and it's sort of let's give with one hand, take with the other.
Yeah.
It was something I noticed kind of all the way through the film. It's one of my notes actually, just in regards to the way that diversity is portrayed in the film. Mm-hmm. They do a really good job of showing a homosexual relationship without making it a cliche, without making it a trope, and without using it for comedic value, which was really nice. Yeah. It was refreshing to see that. And at the same time, they were doing these really tropey things with other elements.
With other aspects of it. Yeah, that's true.
Same with the female characters. There was a good variety of strong female characters. Like, there was no damsel in distress.
Right.
There was no one who was weak and helpless. But at the same time, the female characters didn't really do much.
Yeah, that's true.
Apart from Domino, and
Domino
she didn't do much.
She did a fair bit, to be fair, but she just got lucky.
Exactly. Her power was luck.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's like, and then it plays on that of she's really strong and independent, but she's also very lucky. So everyone who's uncomfortable with her being a strong, independent woman can go, well, she's just lucky.
Yeah. Ooh, good point. I hadn't thought of that.
Great. It really great.
Yeah, there's elements of that for sure, I think.
That's interesting, yeah. Yeah, well, so X-Force is going to be the third Deadpool, apparently. Wow. We're on for that? I guess it's Deadpool and X-Force, probably.
Yeah, I mean...
It'll be Deadpool X-Force or something, I don't know.
Yeah. They did actually have a little, again, one of those meta conversations in the film saying, why would they make a third? Yeah, it would probably fuck it all up. Yeah, let's leave it at 2. So
I did like when they were pulling the team together for X-Force. They were like, we need people who are highly franchisable for at least the next 10 to 12 years.
Right. Yeah, and I think they've got a couple there, haven't they? Yeah. I think it's going to work if they want to go. I mean, they might bring back with that special time machine-y thing at the end.
Do you think it will be a third Deadpool, or do you think it will be a spin-off?
Oh, spin-off from Deadpool.
Because I was thinking if it was a spin-off with Domino as the lead, that could work, and then have a third Deadpool movie as its own sequel.
It's hard to imagine the jokes not getting a bit old as well.
Yeah,
right. Maybe that's why they've set this up, and maybe Deadpool's just an incidental character in this X-Force film. It could be. But I don't know. If this one's doing very well, it's doing okay, this Deadpool 2?
I think so.
If this is doing okay, they'll probably go for
I don't think it did quite as well as the first one on opening, but...
they'll most likely make another with him as the lead. You can't really take him out of the lead spot. He's a pretty popular character, I reckon. But...
I guess we'll see. Yeah. But no, I appreciate this film I think it just turned a mirror on the genre. And, but I think we've uncovered some flaws as well.
Yes, yeah. It's good to discover. Yeah. All right, well, next time. What's next? Maybe Solo? Yeah,
that might be nice.
Yeah, okay.
I have seen it. I did enjoy it.
Oh, really? I'm seeing it this week, I think.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for coming in, Parizad.
Thanks. You.
Bye.
Thanks for having me.
And last but not least,
Peter.
Any power you want to tell us about?
I don't have one. I just saw the ad.
You're in.